I find myself coming to the defense of Donald Trump on a moral level far more than I'm actually comfortable with lately. I don't necessarily support Donald Trump, and I do think some of the things he says are particularly divisive, but it would be only a fool to now consider that Donald Trump is responsible for the Orlando shooting. Let's make it very, very clear. A young man by the name of Omar Mateen was responsible for the shooting of 50 gay people at a nightclub in Orlando, Florida last night. People on Twitter and Tumblr and Reddit have been very quick to come out and say that the rhetoric that Donald Trump has been espousing over the last year or so is singularly responsible for this action. This is entirely nonsensical and entirely not true. I agree that Donald Trump is a highly divisive figure and he has made racist statements in the past, and he has directed those racist statements partly at the Muslim population, but I feel it's total nonsense and extremely arrogant and inconsiderate to immediately be placing blame for this on someone who is not even first-hand responsible for this. The ethnicity and faith of this individual are at this point open to question, but for the most part it does appear as though he is a Muslim. There are pictures available online of him in specific Muslim dress, and it's not entirely unlikely that what led him to do this is his strong religious belief. Let's just lay this one out on the table right now. Leftist progressivism and Islamic fundamentalism are not allies. They are not friends, they can never be friends, and one is never going to come to the defense of the other in a way that is satisfactory and can be abridged on an intellectual level. Liberal and left-wing progressives have far too soft a spot in their hearts for an ideology which ultimately touts hatred and regressivism as one of its core doctrines. Now, I'm not looking to specifically go off on a rant about Islam. I can do that in the future, and I obviously have my own reservations about the faith and my own complaints with it as an atheist, just as I do about Christian fundamentalism. The point of my statement at present is directed more so to people who are looking very quickly to lay blame with anyone other than the individual who is responsible for the act itself, who is, as I mentioned previously, this ass clown by the name of Omar Mateen. Trump did not order this man to go out there, he did not place a gun to his head, and he did not provide him a satisfactory moral imperative for him to get his ass out the door and gun down a bunch of LGBTQ people in the middle of a nightclub in what clears to be an unprovoked act. It is impossible to deny the link between Islamic fundamentalism and the preachings of the Muslim religion and a hatred of lesbian and gay lifestyles. Trump himself has preached no such hatred and is encouraging nobody to walk into theaters or cinemas or nightclubs or what have you and violently attack LGBTQ people. In fact, he hasn't even encouraged people to violently attack the various minorities which he takes issue with on a cultural level and on an immigration level and from an immigration perspective. Holding Trump and his supporters specifically responsible for this is a poisonous, weaselly and greasy thing to do. It's an expression of anger and outrage which is honestly well put and well deserved, but in the wrong place and at the wrong person. I've touched on this before, but it didn't take very long for certain bleeding heart souls to run onto the internet within 5 or 6 minutes of the France attacks and place the blame squarely at the feet of Western culture for its ongoing acts of imperialism in the Middle East, whilst simultaneously expressing virtually no sympathy for the victims involved. And they're quick to point out that our sympathy for our own is hypocritical, as we do not extend the same sympathy to people in far-off places with far-off and strange names who suffer similarly brutal fates. And whilst it would be morally satisfactory and morally upright to express similar concerns for foreign populations and in foreign places, it's simply easier for all of us to relate to people we know closer to home. To deny a kind of moral tribalism amongst the same group of people is naive and honestly downright pretty stupid. Omar Mateen subscribed to an ideology which most likely bore nothing short of hatred for the LGBT community, and this act is most likely an expression of that pure hatred in the form of gunfire and lost lives. Placing your blame at the feet of Donald Trump is cowardly and morally repugnant. As I said in the beginning of this video, I'm no great fan of Trump, and I'm no great fan of his antics, but don't try and place the blame where it isn't supposed to go. Place it firmly at the feet of an ideology which espouses hatred for the Western way of life, for progressive values, and specifically for gay people. I'm Ross Dunn. Get your fucking head on straight. Hey guys, what's up? Ross Dunn. And if you liked any of the content in this video, why not check out some more of the videos on my channel? And if you really like this video, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I can't do any of this without you guys, and hitting up my channel and social media really lets me know you give a shit. With that being said, thanks for your time. I'm Ross Dunn. Once again, peace.